Hi guys, Mr. Hill here. I'm going to finish up this week's maths by teaching you how to use an area method for multiplying two-digit numbers. Before we get started, something to get the brain warmed up. A few calculations for you. I've given you the place value grid with the counters in it to support you for doing number one. I'd like you to use the written method for working out number 2 and number 3. Pause the video here to complete your work. Okay, well done. You got through that very quickly. Here are your answers for this. Question 1, 2,123 times 3 gives us 6,369. We can use the grid to work this one out by counting up how many counters are in each column to represent that place value in the written number. Question 2 and question 3 we should have done as the written method. Question 2, the answer is 21,756. And for question 3, the answer is 19,116. I'm going to move on to your reasoning question. Have a look at this carefully. These shapes all have the same area. Shape A is a square. So you need to work out the missing lengths. Have a go. See if you can remember how to work out the area from what we did before Christmas. Pause the video here to complete your work. Okay, how did we all get on with that? A little bit more tricky. A couple of bits of working out to do with this one, aren't there? So we need to remember that a square has 4 equal length sides. And to find the area of a shape, we multiply the width by the height. So 6 times 6 will give us the area of the square, which is A of 36 centimeters squared. So we need to find the factor pair that goes with 9 to make 36. To work out B, that will be 4. So to work out the area for B, so 9 times 4 will give us 36 centimeters squared. The missing number for B is 4 centimeters. For C, we were given the length of the height even of 3 centimeters. So we need to find the factor pair of 3 to make 36. In this case, it's 12. So the missing length on C was 12. We're going to carry on using area to help us work out some calculations. Remember at the beginning, I said I'm going to show you how to use the area model to work out how to multiply two-digit numbers. So I've got a calculation here. We've got 5 centimeters by 12 centimeters. And we should all know our 5 times table. And we know that 5 times 12 gives us 60 centimeters squared. We could make our life a little easier. We could separate 12. We could partition 12. And we could make it 10 and 2. So we make the number easier to work with because our 10 times table is really easy to do. Our 2 times table is really easy to do. So I've got 2 areas to work out. So I've got the pink area and I've got the purple area. Pink area is 10 centimeters by 5 centimeters. The purple area is 2 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Pink area has an area of 50 centimeters squared. Purple area has an area of 10 centimeters squared. To work out my total area, I can add the 2 together to give me 60 centimeters squared. Now, we can do something very similar with the base 10 set or the Dean's blocks. I can partition 12 into 10 and 2. And by doing that, so we've got our grid. So I can place my 10 here and my 2 here. I can then place the 5 that I'm multiplying by down the side here. So what we need to do, remember what we did when we were working out using the place value counters when we were starting to multiply by 1-digit numbers. What did we do? That's right, we made sure we had the right number of rows across. So we're doing exactly the same, we're just using a different method. So what we need to do, fill each one. So we've got 10 here and 2 over this side. We're going to fill our rows. So the 10s is going to be the first calculation we do. So we've got 5 lots of 10. So I'm going to put my 5 lots of 10 in here. My second step is to do 5 lots of 2. So each row here is going to have 2 blocks put into it to represent the 2 units on each row. There we go. There's our units. Now I need to count them up. So there are 10 ones altogether, and there are 5 tens altogether. Now I've got a problem with my 10 ones. I can't have that many in there, so I need to complete an exchange. So I need to exchange my 10 ones here for an extra 10. That now means I've got 6 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens altogether. 6 times 10, we can count this out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Gives us our answer of 60. So have a go. This is your opportunity to see if you can work this one out. Giving you the starter here so you can draw this out, fill in the empty spaces on the area model, see if you can work out the answer. Pause the video here. Okay, how have we all got on with that one? Nice and simple. I'm going to take you through it step by step just to make sure that we've got it. So my first calculation is 4 times 10. So I've got 4 here and 10 here. That's the first one I'm going to do. So I'm going to put 4 tens in. I've still got tens to work with here, so I'm going to put another 4 tens in. And then down here, I've got 4 ones need to go in. So each row now has got 21 in it, and I've got 4 rows there. Now all I need to do is count them up. So I've got 8, so I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 1, 2, 3, 4, to give me my answer of 84. How about this? How would we go about working this one out? So if we look at the top here, we know that the tens, or the bigger number, goes first. Using that, could you have a go at drawing out what you think the grid will look like for this? Just do it for the beginning. Leave the inside of the grid blank for now. Can you just lay out the grid from the outside? Show me what it will look like. I'll give you a minute. Pause the video here. Okay, how did you get on? You should have something. Looks a little bit like this. So what we do here, we have our biggest number goes towards the top. So whether it's our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, or our tens of thousands, that will go first. Now all we need to do is complete our calculation. So I've got 10 times 10, which gives me 100. So I've put 100 square in there. I've got 10 times 10 again, which gives me another 100. I've then got 10 times 1, so I'm going to have 110 in here. I've finished multiplying by 10. I need to go from finish, multiplying by 4, and fill in this row of my area model. So I've got 4 tens. I've got another 4 tens. That's those 2 filled in. I've got 1 more to go in here. What goes in there? Yep, that's right. 4 ones. There they are. So I've got my numbers filled in. Now all I need to do is go through and count them. How many hundreds have I got? 1, 2 hundreds. How many tens have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 there. That goes into my number. How many ones have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes into my number. That gives me my answer of 294. Okay, your turn now, guys. Pause the video here, complete these calculations, and then when you're ready, press play to carry on. Okay, how have we got on with those? Right, here are your answers for these 2 questions. So, looking at question number 1. Kim is using the method we've just been using to work out 31 times 22. So we've got them all filled out ready there. So all we need to do is go through and count up how many of each there are there. So we're going to look for the ones first. They're down here in the bottom corner. So we've got 2 ones. The next we're going to look for is the 10s. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 10s. That goes in here. And there are 600s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600s to give me 682. Looking at question 2, pretty much the same, except this time they haven't given us the numbers across the top and down the sides. So I know 2 10s makes 20. I know 4 1s makes 4. I know 3 10s makes 30. And I know that 1 1 makes 1. So we've filled in those gaps. The next thing we're going to look for is how many 1s, how many 10s, how many 100s. So how many 1s have we got? Well, they're tucked away in the corner here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, got 4 of those. That can go in. That's done. The next we're looking for the 10s. So we're going to have to be careful here because there's quite a lot of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 10s altogether. So that's how many 10s we have. There are 600s altogether. We'll just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Can I write my answer down like that? 6144? I don't think so. So we need to think about exchanges that we need to make. So we need to exchange 10 10s for 100. So my number actually has 4 1s, 4 10s, and 7 100s to give me 744. Right, let's have a look. We've got another calculation here. We've got 21 times 12. So this time we're going to do it using a slightly different method. We're going to use place value counters. So we're full familiar with those. We've been using them quite a bit recently. So 21, 2 10s and a 1, 12, 1 10 and 2 1s. It's exactly the same method we're going to use. We're going to multiply this together to fill this gap, this together, the 10 and the 1 together to fill this square, and for the same for the rest of the other squares. What we're going to do slightly differently this time is we're going to write the numbers in as we go. So let's get started. 10 times 20, or 20 lots of 10, gives me 200. So I know 10 lots of 10 is 100, 20 lots of 10 is twice that, so 200. I've got my 200 counters in my area model. I'm also going to write 200 here. My next step is 10 times 1. So I need 10 lots of 1, which is 10. So that's fine. 10 times 1 gives me 10. So I'm going to write that in here. I'm now going to move on and look at my 1s. So I've got 2 1s and I've got 20 here. So I need to put 2 lots of 10, 2 lots of 20 in here. My mistake. So that gives us 40. We've got 4 10s in there. I also need to put 2 lots of 1 in here. But before I do that, I need to move my calculation across. So I've got 40. I'm going to write 40 in there. I'm also going to complete my calculation for my 1s. 2 times 1 gives me 2. So I'm going to put my 2 1s in there. I'm also going to write my 2 in here. So exactly the same. I would either count up the number of counters I've got for each place value using the model on the left. On the right, I'm going to do the similar thing, and I'm going to have to add all of these numbers together. So I've got 200 plus 40 plus 10 plus 2. That will give me my answer. So let's work it through. So I've got 200 plus 40 is 240, plus 10 is 250, plus 2 gives me 252. There we go. There's my answer. So same again. have a go yourself. How would you lay the grid out for this one? Okay, got your grid laid out? Fantastic. Let's have a look. Let's see how close you got to mine. So I've got 34 across the top. So I've got my 30 and my 4. I've got 23 on the side. So I've made sure my 10s are the closest ones to where I'm multiplying. So they go in the top left-hand box. Now all we need to do is complete our calculation. So we've got 20 times 30 to give me 600. I've got 20 times 4 to give me 80. I've got 30 times 3 to give me 90. And I've got 3 times 4 to give me 12. So all I need to do now is add these together again. And once I've done that, that gives me my answer of 782. Just to go back over it, make sure we're all clear on how we do this. We've got 30 times 20 to make 600, 20 times 4 to make 80, 30 times 3 to make 90, 3 times 4 to make 12. Okay, we add those all together. That gives us our total of 782. Okay, have a go at working this one out. Pause the video here to complete your work. Okay, how did you get on? Let's go through that answer. So I've got 50 times 10, which will give me 500. I've got 10 times 3, which will give me 30. I've got 50 times 9, which will give me 450. And I've got 3 times 9, or 9 times 3, which gives me 27. Next step then is to add all of these together, which gives me my answer of 1007. Well done if you got that right. If you didn't, maybe go back and have a look at how we do these calculations using the model. So maybe go back a minute, maybe 2 minutes, just refresh yourself, make sure you've really understood this. It's your turn now. Have a go at these questions, see how you get on. So use the counters to help you and complete the grid for the first one. For the second one, for question 4, I want you to use the area model to work out the calculation, and look forward to seeing them. Okay, pause the video here to complete your work. Okay, ready for the answers? Looking at question 3 first. 26 times 32. So we need to do 20 times 30. So we can use the place value grid here to help us and the counters. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 hundreds there. We've got 3 times 6 across the top. So I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. So that's going to go here. 40 in this one, that goes here. 12 in this one, this goes here. And then we just add the numbers together to give us 832. Okay, moving on. So our final calculations we had to work out using area models. So I've shown you how the area models should look for A and B. So for A, we've got the numbers written in. For B, we've written all of the numbers in. We should be able to complete these. So 28 times 14 is 392. 27 times 16 gave us 432. For C, 770. And for D, 1,620. Okay, that's the end of our maths for today. If you feel like you've not understood some of this, please go back and watch over again. If you're really struggling, reach out for me on Teams, share your work with me on Tapestry. I can have a look over it. I can find out where you've made a mistake or where you might be struggling. Good luck. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.